Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Friday, August 23rd, 2019.
Commissioner Garcia, James, Davis, and Caloza are present. President James, you do have a quorum. May we start with bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning. Hector Banuelos, Bureau of Street Services.
Good morning. Asad Al-Najjar, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning. John Olinger, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning. Elisa Blake, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning. Ali Postiel, Sanitation.
Good morning. Lori Rittenberg, City Attorney.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we did receive one speaker card under general public comment. We have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We also received a speaker card on item number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Can I see the speaker cards, please?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, under general public comment, Mr. Herman? Mr. Herman, general public comment, Mr. Herman? Mr. Herman, general public comment? Okay, no other cards on general public comment. We'll close general public comment. Agenda item number 8, specifications submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids. Council District number 2. Actually, let's go ahead and take care of our Recicla Star Awards. Are we ready on that, Ms. Stern and Ms. Johnson? We all ready? Okay. Let's see. Let me come around. Sir, you weren't here when I called your name 3 times. You're disrupting the meeting now, Mr. Herman. Ms. Johnson, okay, great. Good morning, colleagues. Welcome on this Friday morning. Back in 2017, everyone here is very familiar with Recicla. And back in 2017, all businesses in Los Angeles, of course, have been participating in Recicla for their waste and recycling services. This is the first time that all businesses in Los Angeles have had the opportunity to recycle. So we really have something that we just never had before, where we have not only commercial businesses, but also multi-family units around the city that are recycling. So there are numerous new recyclers in the community, and it was in just the last week, actually, I think it was the Sunday paper, columnist Steve Lopez from the Los Angeles Times did a column on the benefits of recycling and a bit of an instructional piece as well from what should be recycled and what shouldn't. And we, some time ago, of course, came up with the idea for Recicla Star Awards in order to highlight businesses that have gone above and beyond in their recycling efforts. These are organizations that are setting an example for environmental stewardship in their communities. So I'm pleased to present the Recicla Star Awards to 2 very different businesses today. Businesses, though, that have at least one thing in common, and that one thing in common is that they show that everyone in Los Angeles can recycle and can do it well. Let's start with LA Live. Everyone is familiar with LA Live. I'm very familiar with LA Live. We work with them a lot in many different areas. LA Live has been a part of the downtown community for over a decade. In fact, some would argue, maybe even many would argue, that LA Live really helped drive the resurgence of downtown Los Angeles across the board. With the help of NASA, and NASA is their contracted service provider, with the help of NASA's Zero Waste team, LA Live currently diverts 55% of its waste from landfills and continues to review bins and weights in order to improve their diversion rate. And keep in mind, Recycla is only now a couple of years old. So they're achieving those numbers in short order. In 2018, LA Live diverted 182 tons of cardboard and 65 tons of grease waste. 65 tons of grease waste, not something you hear about a lot in the recycling market. Here are just, and I'll tell you in a moment what that is recycled into. Here are just a few of the examples of LA Live's recycling efforts. They developed a Green Star program that provides training to all new kitchen and housekeeping employees, and each month 2 employees who help divert food waste are recognized and receive special prizes. And the aspect of food waste and how we manage it is really becoming, appropriately so, a much more popular topic, and a topic that people in municipalities are becoming much more interested in, really across the nation. And it's businesses like LA Live that have a campus-like setting that are leading the way in food waste recovery. Green, blue, and black stripes have been painted on the floors, leading the way to the correct bins for organics, recycling, and garbage to avoid any confusion. Sounds simple. Recycling signage is prominently featured behind the scenes, including the break room, hallways, and elevator lobbies. And special tanks were installed under the loading dock for grease collection. An outside recycling vendor collects the grease and recycles it in numerous ways, including the making of soap. Giving back to the community is part of AEG and LA Live's culture. And I know that there are a number of things listed here. Well, there are some examples of what they've done. But even most recently, in working with the city of Los Angeles, in the NBA All-Star weekend that they hosted, they were key partners in shepherding many of the community benefits, if not most, or even all of the community benefits that came to Los Angeles through the NBA All-Star Game in 2018. AEG and LA Live believe that corporate philanthropy and community engagement play a critical role in helping communities thrive, and they strive to be civic leaders by working to improve the economic and social well-being of the local communities where they operate. Over the last 10 years, AEG has established foundations and programs that have contributed over $120 million, $12 million bucks a year, in direct financial and in-kind support of charitable, community, and civic programs that focus on children and youth in the areas of education, the arts, and health and wellness. Annually, AEG and LA Live work with local schools and underserved communities to support K through 12 education. AEG are also corporate members of the following organizations in which they sponsor and provide in-kind donations to help support their programs: the Asian Business Association, the LA Latino Chamber of Commerce, the LA Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, the Black Business Association, and the Greater LA African American Chamber of Commerce. So today we are pleased, of course, to award LA Live, our partner in so many endeavors in the city of Los Angeles, with a Platinum Recycla Star Award. We have Blanca Diaz and Mark Clay, right? Let's do this, and then we'll do another one. And either Mark or Bianca, or both of you, want to say yours?
Well, I'd just like to thank the Sanitation Board of Public Works, NASA, Lori, Hillary, and the staff. They've been so helpful and great. Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you very much, because we do put a lot of effort into our sustainability programs, our AEG One Earth for AEG and LA Live. And, you know, sometimes you feel like you put a lot of work in and don't get recognized. So this is definitely appreciated, greatly appreciated, and not taken for granted. So thank you very much to everyone.
And our representative, so Mark Clay Blanca Diaz, and we have a representative from NASA as well, who we work with regularly.
Yes. Welcome back. Hi, thank you, President James and Commission. I just want to say a couple quick things about this. First of all, I appreciate that we're given the opportunity to help nominate and recognize businesses, and LA Live stood out from the very beginning. So 2 quick stories. After we had initially met with them and onboarded, they asked us to come down and take a look and show us what they were doing, but to also see what else we could do. And I just think that it really speaks to their enthusiasm, their support, their drive to do better. So they had a lot of programs in place, but they were very willing and desirable to improve on what they were doing and get input. And Mark and Blanca have been amazing to work with. They absolutely drive that program, and they really deserve a lot of recognition for what's been done. But the second thing I want to say is that just programs in public space in general and restaurants are very challenging when it comes to recycling. You have a lot of turnover, you have a lot of people coming through the public space. A property the size of LA Live, could almost be impossible to do the type of programs they're doing. So the amount of diversion and the number of programs they have is really to be commended and applauded, and they are doing a great job, and hopefully we can continue to do more. But I just really wanted you to know, from our perspective in looking at businesses, it's truly amazing what they're doing. So I appreciate that you recognize them for that effort.
So don't leave, because we do want to take a group photo. And again, one more round of applause, thanking and congratulating LA Live. And colleagues, the second awardee today is Room and Board. Now, Room and Board is a large national furniture company of showrooms and delivery centers. Their delivery center in the city of Los Angeles has operated since 2009. And I don't see it in my briefing points, nor would I expect to. But my recollection, and they can correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but I think Room and Board was or has been a Southern California headquartered company for many years. My recollection is, am I right that they were in Orange County before? Okay, so in Orange County since 2002. The reason I remembered that is because long before I worked for the city, it was probably 2002 or 2003, I bought a lot of furniture from Room and Board. I pretty much furnished my entire house with it. One of the things that's best to say about Room and Board furniture, it still looks new. What is it, almost 20 years ago. So Room and Board puts out an amazing product. It is, as I mentioned, a large national furniture company of showrooms and delivery centers that's had a market in Los Angeles, in the Southern California region for many years, and their delivery center in Los Angeles since 2009. They set an excellent example to other businesses on how to successfully recycle, diverting 82% of waste from landfills. In 2018, this included 137 tons of cardboard, 9 tons of low-density polyethylene packaging, and 4 tons of plastic. Room and Board created an internal green team that meets monthly to devise new ideas and efficiencies. Room and Board uses right-size boxing and builds custom boxes for special orders to reduce any waste. Room and Board has 6 24-foot box delivery trucks, half of which are hybrid vehicles. Room and Board replaced all lighting in their 70,000 square foot facility with LED bulbs. It's a lot of bulbs. With 56 skylights, they turn off their lights at 3 p.m. and close at 5 p.m., conserving electricity throughout the year. Every Room and Board employee is given a reusable water bottle. Room and Board also believes that part of being a good business is being a good community partner and working with several local organizations, including the Palos Verdes Land Conservancy, Health Right 360, Myler Elementary School, and LA Family Housing. Today, we're honored to award Room and Board with a Platinum Recycla Star Award. And thank you to Scott Liptak, Delivery Market Manager, and Greg DiDonato. Greg, I'm going to call you Greg. D. Donato, and we'll see if I was right, Leadership Associate, who are accepting the award on behalf of Room and Board. Thank you. Greg? Scott? Greg? D. Donato? All right. Thank you, guys. Where are we? There we go. And one or both of you want to say something?
I'll say something real fast. I just want to take a moment to thank everybody here, Board of Public Works, LA Sanitation, Athens Service, Lori Garcia for being our partners in reducing landfill waste and making our recycling vision a reality here in Los Angeles. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you to Athens as well for nominating Room and Board. So let's start with Commissioner Davis.
Okay, great. I want to first thank you, President James, for calling to the public's attention these great organizations who really have reflected one of the back-to-basic principles that the mayor has often talked about, creating a more sustainable and livable city. And today, as you have presented these great organizations, they truly have reflected that value that we hold so dear in the city of Los Angeles. It is really, I think, very revealing that you should use these two examples for others in our city who have joined the Bureau of Sanitation at helping us collectively get to our zero waste goals. And so I want to commend AEG for diverting 55% of their waste from landfills, and as well to commend Room and Board for diverting 82% of waste from landfills. I have had the pleasure to work with AEG over the years, and I say for both companies, both AEG and Room and Board, cream always rises to the top. And I can tell you, even back in the Tim Lewicki days for AEG, they always were the kind of company that was a great corporate citizen giving back to our community. So I thank you so much again, President James, for presenting these two companies. They truly are role models. They truly have great value, and they are an example to other companies of what we can achieve in the great city of Los Angeles as it gets to making a priority for our city, achieving zero waste. So once again, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, President James. Thank you, Kevin, President James, for the introduction of these two very fine entities within the city of Los Angeles. Thank you for doing the work that we hope that more of business do as well. And thank you for taking recycling and zero waste important within your everyday life. It's important, and I had to write it down. It was 65 tons of grease that LA Live produces. Was that recycle? Wow, that's still a lot. So however you guys do it, you found a way. Congratulations, and hopefully you can teach others or be an inspiration to others to move that direction as well. So congratulations to LA Live and Room and Board. Room and Board, thank you for participating as well in what we do here in the city. It's important for us, and again, hope we can drive other businesses just like yourselves. Platinum is a big deal. When I heard platinum, I was, wow, that's huge. But congratulations, that's what you deserve.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Caloza.
Thank you, President James, and thank you for your presentation this morning. First off, I want to thank the Bureau of Sanitation for your leadership and outreach and really giving businesses the opportunity to contribute in this way. I think I saw Dan Myers there in the back. Just give him a shout out. I know you're hiding, but thanks to your team for your work. Thank you also to our partners, Athens and NASA, for really going above and beyond and making sure that businesses understand, what are good practices and best practices for this kind of work. And to LA Live and Room and Board, I know this is, a conscious business decision that you guys have to make. And sometimes it's tough to make some of these decisions because it does have an impact in your bottom line, but yet you choose to do this work anyway because you know it's a priority for the city, a priority for the board, and a priority for the mayor. So, thank you for your time and attention to waste diversion. It obviously doesn't go unnoticed, and we really thank you and know that we appreciate all your efforts and will be using you as examples as we constantly do more outreach to businesses to also sign up to, do more in their everyday practices. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Colosa. So we'll take just a brief recess from the agenda for a couple of photographs. We'll start with LA Live, and then we'll do room and board, and then be back on our way. Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's see. I've got 1 meeting minute journal that we need to approve Wednesday. No, I've got 2, Dr. Campos. Wednesday, July 24th, Friday, July 26th, both in 2019. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from those dates? By Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we will approve those meeting minutes. Let's take up agenda item number 4, Council District 12, tree removal at 9503 North Andorra Place recommending that the board first find under the California Public Resources Code, Section 21166, and the state's Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, Guidelines, Section 15162, on the basis of substantial evidence contained in the whole record, that since the city's prior certification of environmental impact report and the EIR numbers in the agenda, there have been no changes to the project or changes with respect to the circumstances under which the project is being undertaken, or new information or substantial importance concerning the project, which caused new significant environmental effects or a substantial increase in the severity of previously identified significant effects, and therefore no subsequent EIR, supplemental EIR, or other analysis is required for the project. Secondly, specify that the Bureau of Street Services, Streets LA Urban Forestry Division, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian of the documents or other material that constitute the record of the proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. And 3, review and approve the request for a fee permit for removal of 1 valley oak and 4 coast live oak trees. Tree replacements are required. This is agenda item number 4. Mr. Herman, there's a card in under Herman for number 4. Herman for number 4. Herman for number 4. A card in for Wayne, number 4. Mr. Spindler on number 4.
Right. First of all, I'm really surprised that Commissioner Davis is not in the other room honoring.
Capacity, because I know you'll continue making an enormous difference.
You're missing the Carmen Hawkins.
We're going to benefit from that as well.
That's right. But the reason why is Commissioner Davis doesn't want to be around black folks. That's why he want to be here with the white folk, because over there, they the black folk. Carmen Hawkins.
And we
That's
have
right.
a visitor with us today, Al Vito, representing the Postmaster Corner.
That's right. And that's the pimp right there, my pimp, Herb Wesson, talking, Herb Wesson Jr. That's right. So you got a big old day over there full of bullshit. Now, why would a deputy city attorney 3 be retiring? Because she know what I know, that the FBI don't like the black folk working to help the Jews steal money. That's the problem. So they're going to give everybody in the building the opportunity to quit first and take their retirement, and then later on cooperate. Now, failure to do so will result in punitive measures in the investigation tactics by the FBI. Because the FBI is like this place. It's run by white, stinking Jew motherfuckers that take all of the money from the hood and give it to all their rich, white, scumbag developer friends and Chinese donors. So I say, number 4, fuck Mitchell Englander and fuck Greg Smith and that new Italian nigger that just got elected to the 12th. Fuck all of you.
Mr. Banuelos on agenda item number 4.
Good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, City Attorney Dr. Campos, Hector Banuelos with the Streets LA Urban Forestry Division. What we have before us is a request for a removal permit for 5 protected trees for construction of 33 single-family residences, I should say horse-oriented single-family residences at 9503 North Andorra Place. The project is in the Chatsworth Porter Ranch community on a property measuring approximately 91 acres, of which 61 of those acres are going to be set aside for open space. So there are 2...
Mr. Banuelos, I'm sorry, we've got some... Where's that coming from? Mr. Spindler, you're interrupting the meeting. My speaker's speaking. Turn off your phone, please. That's your first warning, Mr. Spindler. You're interrupting the meeting because I can hear it, and our speaker's trying to give a presentation. Please turn it off. Go ahead, Mr. Banuelos. Go ahead.
Yes, there are 22 protected trees on the property. which include 1 valley oak and 21 coast live oaks. In order to construct, there is grading required for roadways, access, and other infrastructure and the homes themselves. They're going to require removal of the 5 trees, including that 1 valley oak. The trees are in fair to poor condition, measuring approximately 7 to 30 inches in diameter. Trees in fair to poor condition, right, of which, if approved, the developer will replant. There's plenty of room to replant the 20 trees as required, the 24-inch box-sized coast live oaks.
And are those going to be replanted on site?
Yes, they're planted on site. The Streets LA Arborist did inspect the locations a couple times, and on the latest on June 11th of 2019, and verified that the trees are in fact there, and that there is protective measures in place to protect the 17 trees that are protected trees to remain on the property. If the Department of City Planning did prepare a environmental impact report, in which our review reveals that the protected trees are properly addressed within the reports and including the mitigation measures for tree replacements. The 12th Council Office, District Office was informed of the tree removal permit request, and they have taken a neutral stance on the project and the tree removals, and do not oppose nor are they in support of the project at this time. Any questions?
No. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4, seconded by Commissioners Garcia and Davis, and I think I was Calusa as well. So that'll be the order on agenda item number 4. Any issue sending number 4 forthwith? We'll send number 4 forthwith. Agenda item number 8, specifications submitted for board adoption and authorization to advertise for the invitation of bids in Council District number 2. Speaker card by Mr. Herman on number 8, Mr. Herman on number 8, Mr. Herman on number 8. I don't have a card for anybody else on number 8. Is there a second? This is for the North Hollywood Sewer Maintenance Yard. It's a rebid. Estimate $10,500,000. Bid receipt date October 2nd, 2019. Is there a second to my motion that we adopt agenda item number 8 forthwith? By Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Agenda item number 1. Construction order, sidewalk repair program, Council Districts 1, 8, 13, package number 50 project. Recommended that the board authorize the city engineer to issue a construction order and a notice to proceed for the project to John S. Meek Company Incorporated in the amount of $1,103,189, with a not to exceed amount of $1,323,827, including contingency. Mr. Herman on number 1. Mr. Herman on number 1. Mr. Herman on number 1. Wayne from Encino. Mr. Spinner on number 1. Mr. Spinner on number 1. Mr. Spinner on number 1. Mr. Vega on number 1.
Good morning. Robert Vega, Program Manager for the Bureau of Engineering Sidewalk Repair Program. As introduced, I'm here today to request authority to award sidewalk repair project number 50 to John Meeks, the lowest responsible bidder. The scope of work for the project includes repairing sidewalk, constructing curb ramps, and performing ancillary work at Hoover Recreation Center in the University Park area of CD1, the adjacent parking lot, the LAPD Southwest Station in the Exposition Park area of CD8, and a parking lot in Echo Park on Glendale Avenue. The 4 sites were selected utilizing the Sidewalk Repair Program prioritization and scoring system approved by the City Council in January of 2018, and based on the criteria set forth by the Willits Settlement Agreement and Council direction, the prioritization assigns a score based on a site's proximity to transportation corridors, type of use such as hospitals or other similar facilities, and other criteria such as damage severity. On June 13th, 2019, the Sidewalk Repair Program solicited bids from 9 contractors on the emergency on-call list, on-call geotechnical and structural list, and on June 25th, the Bureau received 2 bids for that. John S. Meeks was determined to be the lowest responsive bidder. The contract is for a duration of 120 days. Funding is available in the sidewalk repair program or sidewalk repair fund. Also want to mention that the amount of work that we'll be doing constitutes 26,000 square feet of sidewalk that will be repaired and repair or replacement of 19 curb ramps. That concludes my report, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Vega? Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
go ahead.
How much is the cost of this project?
The cost for this is $1,103,000, $1,103,189,000.
Okay, so what I was wondering, in terms of our discussions in the past, we had the sidewalk programs and the smaller companies be able to do that. And additionally, as we look at the area of South Los Angeles and some of these projects that obviously have been coupled together, I guess there are 4 of them, but that, in fact, if they were looked at individually, would be perhaps projects that the smaller companies could also compete for. How does that play in terms of going to the list on this one as opposed to looking at some of the discussions that we've had in the past? I mean, obviously, there's enough work for everyone in Los Angeles.
Yes,
and
there is.
There are plenty of big projects as well, and I know that we cannot exclude anyone from competing, but I'm just curious as to why none of the smaller companies would not have been available for what arguably are smaller jobs.
So we are planning, we package projects together, both in large and small.
Yes.
So in this coming fiscal year, we intend at a minimum to award 5 contracts to small contractors this year.
Is it possible, as we look at this project, could it have possibly been smaller projects here? I'm not saying that that's not what it is now, but how do you see that potential there?
The one project that that might have been available to a small contract is the parking lot, the DOT parking lot on Glendale Avenue. But the Hoover Recreation Center, let me see. I don't know if I have that with me.
I see.
But it's about $800,000, and the Southwest Station,
I see.
approximately about
I see.
$500,000.
And those are larger.
Right. And we coupled the parking lot with the recreation center because they're adjacent to each other.
Okay, well, I just obviously want to make sure that we maximize the opportunity for these smaller jobs, and it is not a threat in any way to our stabled major prime contractors. But I think, every effort we can demonstrate to get these smaller companies in some of these kind of jobs that they could arguably do would be helpful to the overall city, because we will increase the economic development of our small business community too. And every business that we can make viable strengthens us as a city.
Absolutely.
And I think we need to look at every project with that, towards an eye, with that kind of focus.
And
so I want growth and development, not only for prime contractors, I want growth and development for small businesses as well.
Absolutely, and that's our priority too. And as I said, we will be soliciting at least 5 contracts under city facilities and then additional 5 under our Access Acceleration Program. So
I look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Anything further? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1, seconded by Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Davis. Thank you, sir. Any objection? Thank you, Mr. Vega. Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any issue sending number 1 forthwith? We will send number 1 forthwith. We've got a couple of authority for expenditures. Agenda item number 6, Black Knight Financial Services, Engineering and Accounting are requesting board approval and an execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $65,887.44 for data transfer services of pre-sorted Los Angeles County deed information. This service includes the continuation of subscription to online land records, document listing for engineering, land development, and GIS division. This authority is for the period of the current fiscal year, July 1, 2019 to June 30th, 2020. And the fund names and accounts are listed in the agenda. Thank you. Agenda item number 6, Mr. Herman, on number 6, Mr. Herman on number 6, Mr. Spindler on number 6, Mr. Spindler on number 6, Mr. Vandergriff on number 6. Mr. Vandergriff.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Greg Vandergriff with the Bureau of Engineering, Land Development, GIS Division. As was stated, you have before you a request for approval for an authority for expenditure for an AFE that provides us data that we utilize in Navigate LA, BOE LoopAMS, to provide us over 200,000 records of deed transfers approximately each year that are related to keeping track of the transfer of real estate within the city of LA. This is an annual renewal. We've actually been under contract with Black Knight Services since 2001. They have provided these services for us before the Bureau of Engineering was assigned the Land Records Division. Since 2011, we've been maintaining this contract. This is this contract for $69,000, $65,000 of which is for the actual data itself. The other $3,000 is used for site access on specific requests. So if somebody wants a radius map, or if we need ownership data regarding a deed investigation, whether to know who the owner is because of a eminent domain case, we're able to access that information on site. The authority is for each year. We cannot begin the renewal process until after the current term ends. It's taken us this long since July 1st to get the documents prepared and processed so that we could bring it to the board today. This contract does represent about a $3,000 increase over the previous year. It's the first price increase in the last 4 years for this service. Are there any questions?
Well, you answered my question about the price increase. But Greg, I'm just curious, with the, so we've had this contract, does it just renew year to year?
Yes, it does.
Okay, is there any thought, desire, or requirement that we go out to the market, or what's just the procurement question?
Black Knight Services is actually a unique company in providing this data. They are a nationwide company, so they provide this type of data for municipalities and jurisdictions throughout the country. Our contract is specifically with them. We have looked at, are there other alternatives? At this time, they seem to be the one that best provides us that service. It's also the fact that they access the data from LA County. So in part, it's who LA County is willing to contract with to provide the data.
They've got the data, and that's who they contract with, so they've got the market.
Yes.
Fair enough. I'll make a motion that, no other questions? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 6, seconded by Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? Thank you, sir. We'll adopt agenda item number 6. Without objection, any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Number 7, Council District 13, Authority for Expenditure, American Residential Service, LLC. Street Lighting and Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $26,886 to encumber funds to pay for parts, labor, and permits required to complete the work of fixing the plumbing problem at the field office located at 4550 Santa Monica Boulevard. See the attached repair proposal, and the funding information is on the agenda. Thank you for that. On agenda item number 7, I only have a card from Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman on number 7. Mr. Herman on number 7. Okay, Mr. Al-Najjar.
Good morning, President James, Commissioners. For the past few years, our field operations office have been having a lot of problems in the plumbing, and we've been trying to fix and patch as we go. This is a proposal in which there will be installation of a bypass of 75 feet that will take, hopefully, care of this problem. And it's going to come with a 5-year labor warranty and 10-year materials on the hardware that's going to be installed. Thank you.
Thank you. No questions. Commissioner Garcia has made a motion that we adopt agenda item number 7. I'll second it. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 7. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any issue sending number 7 forthwith? We'll send number 7 forthwith. That takes us to agenda item number 2, which is Council District 7, amended construction order report, La Tuna Canyon Road Emergency Storm Drain and Embankment Repair Project, recommending that the board amend the May 10, 2019 board report for the La Tuna Canyon Road Emergency Storm Drain and Embankment Repair Project to issue a separate contract number and a revised construction order incorporating the separate contract number. Sounds like we're just getting our data corrected. Mr. Herman on number 2. Mr. Herman on number 2. Mr. Spindler on number 2. I have Wayne from Encino on number 2. Mr. Spindler on number 2. Mr. Schmidt on number 2.
Good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, Dr. Campos, City Attorney. My name is Patrick Schmidt, Bureau of Engineering, Geotechnical Engineering Division, and I am here to request that the Board of Public Works to amend the May 10th board report for the La Tuna Canyon Road Emergency Storm Drain and Embankment Repair Project to issue a separate contract number and a revised construction order incorporating the separate contract number. On October 24, 2018, the board approved a contract to John S. Meek Incorporated in the amount of $2,077,923 with a contingency of $235,439.73 for a total approved construction budget of $2,313,362.73 to construct Phase 1 of the La Tuna Canyon Road Emergency Storm Drain Embankment Repair Project. A notice to proceed was issued on November 5, 2018 with a contract duration of 180 calendar days. The project was advertised, bid, and awarded through the 2014 to 2019 Emergency Pre-Qualified On-Call Geotechnical Structural Contractors List, which expired on May 11, 2019. On May 10, 2019, the BOE presented a report to the board with the intention of obtaining a replacement contract number for the expiring contract and a revised construction order incorporating the replacement contract number for the project. However, due to a misunderstanding, the approved amended board report did not include a replacement contract number. Thus, we are here today to recommend amendment of the May 10, 2019 board report for the La Tuna Canyon Road Emergency Storm Drain and Embankment Repair Project to issue a separate contract number and a revised construction order incorporating the separate contract number. Any questions?
No, I would just ask our executive officer, Dr. Campos, is there anything remarkable regarding this request and why it came before the board?
None at this time. The request before you is just allowing us to issue that contract number that the Bureau of Engineering was originally requesting. Typically, when it was first presented to this board, typically we do not issue a duplicate contract number to an existing contract. That's just not the way it's processed or payments are processed. So therefore, after further discussion with Bureau of Engineering, it was a miscommunication in terms of what the intent is, and that is to pay our contractor and pay our bills. So this is the best way to do it, by revising it again. And so I asked the Bureau of Engineering to come back to the board to get the authority so that we can move forward to make sure that we can pay the bill.
Okay, then if it helps us pay our bills faster, we're happy to do it. I'll make that motion enthusiastically, seconded by all of my colleagues. That'll be the order on number 2. Any issue sending number 2 forthwith? We'll send number 2 forthwith. You're here on number 3 as well. Council District 11, amended construction order report, Asilomar Boulevard Deep Soil Mixing Pilot Study Project, recommending that the board amend the May 10th, 2019 board report for the Asilomar, which one is it, Mr. Schmidt?
Asilomar.
Okay. For the Asilomar Boulevard Deep Soil Mining or Mixing Pilot Study Project to issue a separate contract number and a revised construction order incorporating the separate contract number. I recognize we may need an amendment on this one. Mr. Herman on number 3. Mr. Herman on number 3. Mr. Schmidt on number 3.
Thank you, President James. This is a request for the Board of Public Works to amend the May 10th board report for the Asilomar Boulevard Deep Soil Mixing Pilot Study Project and to issue a separate contract number and a revised construction order incorporating the separate contract number. On November 28, 2018, the board approved a contract to Haywood Baker Incorporated in the amount of $533,435 with a contingency of $80,015 for a total approved construction budget of $613,450 to construct the Asilomar Boulevard Deep Soil Mixing Pilot Study Project. A construction order was issued to the contractor on November 28, 2018. This project was also advertised, bid, and awarded through the 2014 to 2019 Emergency Pre-Qualified On-Call Geotechnical Structural Contractors List, which expired on May 11, 2019. On May 10, 2019, the BOE presented a report to the board with the intention of obtaining the replacement contract number for the expiring contract and a revised construction order incorporating a replacement contract number for the project. However, due to a misunderstanding, the approved amended board report did not include a replacement contract number. So our recommendation is again to amend the May 10, 2019 board report for the Asilmar Boulevard Deep Soil Mixing Pilot Study Project to issue a separate contract number and a revised construction order incorporating the separate contract number.
Fair enough. There's an amendment that's needed here, Dr. Campos or Mr. Schmidt?
That is correct. There is a proposal to amend the amendment being before you, and that is to make sure that we reflect the correct project number on the actual board report itself. So the agenda that is before you is listed correct. The project name is listed correctly. However, the board report itself references Latuna in the recommendation, but the title on the report is correct, the Asilmar project. So we want to make sure that the title and the recommendations pair up and are in sync with the agenda as well.
Makes sense. So that'll be my motion as amended. Seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Any issue sending number 3 forthwith? We'll send number 3 forthwith. That moves us to number 5, Council District 8, Maintenance Agreement, Crenshaw LAX Transit Corridor Project, Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza. Recommending that the board first authorize myself as the President of the Board of Public Works to execute the agreement with the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority, that's Metro, for maintenance of improvements within the limits of the area known as the Plaza, located along the west side of Crenshaw Boulevard from Stalker Street to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, and to make any necessary modifications to effectuate the intent of the agreement. Secondly, request the city clerk to attest and certify 5 original copies of the agreement upon execution. Third, instruct the Bureau of Engineering to record the executed agreement in the Los Angeles County Recorder's Office. And fourth, forward 2 copies of the executed maintenance agreement to Metro. On number 5, Mr. Herman on number 5. Mr. Herman on number 5. Mr. Shu, here you are on number 5.
Good morning. I'm Larry Shu from Bureau of Engineering Metro Transit Division. The board report before you is in regards to the Crenshaw LAX Transit Corridor Project. This is an 8.5-mile transit line that will be connecting the Expo line at the Expo Crenshaw Station to the Green Line Aviation Station near LAX. As part of the Crenshaw Martin Luther King Jr. Station, Metro is constructing a portal entrance to the underground station and a station entrance plaza. The proposed Martin Luther King Jr. Plaza is approximately 50 feet wide and 350 feet long, and is located within the public right-of-way and a proposed pedestrian access easement. The design of the plaza includes non-city standard items such as pavers, benches, bike racks, planters, and other items. In order to define maintenance responsibilities for the plaza, Streets LA, the Bureau of Street Lighting, the Bureau of Engineering, and Metro have developed a maintenance agreement. As stipulated within the agreement, Metro will be responsible for almost all items within the plaza, with the exception of streetlights, city streetlights, and traffic signal poles. The agreement also contains maintenance standards for trees and landscaping. That concludes my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
We will start with Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, President James. Quick question. Who's funding this? Is Metro paying for most of this?
There's no transfer of money. It just says who will maintain what within the plaza, and the entities that are responsible for maintenance will pay for the maintenance. So it's self-performing. So.
Is that something that's currently in place now, or is going to be built after the construction is over?
No, this is all new construction.
So it hasn't started yet?
I guess the way to say it is the area's been demolished, and it hasn't been put back yet.
Okay. Do we have a time frame of when this project will be completed?
No, the project team has been, there's a lot in flux and a lot of dependencies on various items. So we really haven't received a commitment in terms of when this will be constructed, but we know the general Crenshaw project needs to be constructed, in less than a year. So it's going to be happening in this coming year.
So this piece of that construction is going to go along with the actual construction of the Metro?
Well, yeah, I mean, the train alignment here is underground, so that's proceeding on its own path. But at some point, you will have to open the station to the public.
Right.
And therefore, the station plaza needs to be constructed to allow people to walk to the
Okay,
station.
maybe that's what I didn't understand. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Davis?
In terms of the agreement, what is the length of time of the agreement into perpetuity?
I don't think there is an expiration.
Okay.
See,
Just ask.
effective upon the date of appearance, it stands until it's terminated by the parties. So it's not. There's no set termination date.
And the improvements that will create the Martin Luther King Plaza already are rendered and drawn and will be implemented as we continue to construct the area. Is that correct? The new improvements that we're talking about.
That's correct. It's been a lengthy design process with it's right in front of the Baldwin Hills Mall, so they have had some input into the plaza as well as Metro and the community.
It's a pedestrian-friendly area. Does it have any seating in it that you can recall? I know
Yes, there is.
Yes,
there are benches. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And so that, in fact, I know that it's a station that will be available to accommodate passengers from the train, but also does it have a multifaceted use where those for buses also are at grade, being able to sit there like seniors who are waiting on the bus, getting off the train? Is that something that's going on?
There is a right. I mean, I think in general, there are the subway and train stations are kind of nodes, transportation nodes, where they want to connect all sorts of modes of transportation, be it bike, pedestrian, or bus. And certainly in this case, there is a bus turnout lane right at the station portal.
Okay. Is there anything else unique about the responsibility you will have in maintaining this particular plaza? Anything unique that you will be called upon to do in your responsibility to maintain the Martin Luther King Plaza?
No. I would say that Bureau of Engineering has no maintenance responsibilities, but Bureau of Street Lighting,
BMTA.
Transportation, and Sanitation in some cases have responsibilities. But in this area, there's very little. There's just traffic poles for DOT and street lights for Bureau of Street Lighting.
Are there any finances involved in this agreement, and will anybody be paid, and if so, who?
No, there's no financial transaction in this. It's just defining who will maintain what at their own cost.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Sure.
Just who takes care of what? Who takes care of what?
Who takes care of the things that are defined?
I'm not asking you. I'm just saying. I'm summarizing again, Larry, what
okay.
you said. This is just you take care of this, and I take care of that.
That is correct.
Yes. Got it. Okay. Yeah. Roles and responsibilities. All right. Thank you, sir. But we're getting it in paper.
That's correct.
All right. Any other questions? Commissioner Garcia.
I just want to say, is there a way that you can share the rendering of what this is going to look like in that area?
Certainly. I don't have it with me, but I can.
I think maybe Commissioner Davis and I would be looking forward to seeing that.
Okay. Yes, I will chase
The
that
final
down.
one, whatever you guys finalized.
Oh, the final fancy one.
Yeah, that's.
I'll try to
Thank
obtain
you.
that from Metro.
All right. Thank you. Anything further? Okay. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 5, seconded by Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Garcia. Any objection?
Thank you.
Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Davis is a second on that as well. All right. Thank you, Larry. Have a nice weekend. Any issue sending number 5 forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. I should have mentioned earlier that agenda item number 10, the Recycla update, is being continued 30 days. The date on that will be around September 22nd.
Let's see, that would be Monday, September 23rd.
Okay. Let's do it then.
Okay.
Okay. Agenda item number 9 is our weekly status update on major upcoming street improvement projects. Mr. Herman on number 9. Mr. Herman on number 9. Welcome, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, President James, Commissioners, Bureau Representatives, and Executive Secretary. I am Orlando Maxwell with Resurfacing and Reconstruction Division of Superintendent 1. In an effort to keep the public informed on resurfacing projects which may cause delays to commuters, Streets LA would like to provide a status update on upcoming major street improvement projects. For our metro region, we'll be working Saturday, August 24th and Sunday, August 25th on Normandy Avenue from Manchester Avenue to 78th Street. That project will begin at 6 a.m. and conclude at 6 p.m. That will be in Council District 8, and funding is our pavement preservation program. And on Friday, the following weekend, Friday, August 30th through Saturday, August 31st, we will be coal milling and paving on Imperial Highway, the North Roadway, 130 feet west of Aviation Boulevard to Douglas Street. That work will begin at 9 p.m. and conclude at 9 a.m. In CD 11 and funded by LA World Airports. For our Valley region, Saturday, August 24th and Sunday, August 25th, will be coal milling and paving Platt Avenue from Van Owen Street to Victory Boulevard. That work will begin at 5 a.m. and conclude at 6 p.m. and that's in Council District 12, and that will be funded by our pavement preservation program. And on Saturday, August 31st and Sunday, September 1st, we'll be coal milling and paving Shoup Avenue from Satakoy Street to Sherman Way. The work will begin at 6 a.m. and conclude at 6 p.m. That will be in Council District 3 and will be funded by our pavement preservation program. Press releases have been broadcasted, affected CDs involved with the outreach to stakeholders. Streets LA has commuted with Department of Transportation for traffic control needs. This concludes my report.
Mr. Maxwell, thank you, sir. Mr. Davis, Commissioner Davis has a question.
Thank you, Superintendent Maxwell. We appreciate the work that you are doing on the weekends in South LA and West Chester area and all throughout the areas. When we look at the weekly reports you have been given, I was wondering, how does the work that we have been doing regularly weekly in your reports, how does it relate to, if it does at all, this Great Streets program that the mayor had? Do you know anything about Great Streets? It was a program where there were big thoroughfares where we were going to help improve that.
Yes,
how does that relate, if it does at all, to the work that we've been reporting on weekly?
It really doesn't. That's a separate funding right there to where we do everything on that street and our great streets from sidewalk to sidewalk.
I see. And I guess you don't know about Great Streets in terms of where we are with it, and is it something that's in your jurisdiction? I know it's not related to this report, but
yes,
since you were Street Services, I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, we have started one Great Streets project, which is Temple.
It's not on our agenda. I'm a little nervous about.
All right.
We can put a Great Streets agenda item on, but
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your work.
You're welcome.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, Commissioner Davis. We will agendize that, but I don't want to run afoul. Commissioner Garcia.
I was just, Mr.
Mr. Maxwell.
Maxwell. I just want to say, is this your first time presenting?
Excuse me?
Was this your first time presenting to the board?
Yes.
You did a very good job. Very
you.
thorough and very clear. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, and you also were willing to step in on the Great Street stuff, too, so thank you, sir. Over and above. Welcome to the board, sir. Thank you. Anything else? The oral report will be received. Any issue, Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Then we are adjourned, everyone. Have a nice weekend.